Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my channel for another third-party unlicensed 1/6 scale figure unboxing and review. Today, we're taking a look at Thunder Toys Valkyrie, specifically based off her look in Thor Ragnarok, my favourite look for Valkyrie. Now I got mine from toyswonderland.com. Link for that is in the description below for your reference purposes only. After all, this is an unlicensed, unofficial figure, and this video isn't a promotional video, it's a review on a figure that's going in my Thor collection after this video is done. While you are down in the description, why not hit that subscribe, bell notification icon, and join button, so you're notified as soon as a brand new review goes live on the channel. As for the box art, very classy Thunder Toys sideways box art. This is something that we just don't see very often. Normally the picture is going the other way. Now you can see an image of Valkyrie riding her Pegasus, and yes, if you do get the deluxe version of this figure, Pegasus is included. I did, so you will be seeing it a little bit later on. Up in the top corner, Thunder Toys, and down below, Valkyrie. On the side of the box, nothing. We've got a little bit of that artwork spilling over the edge from the front, and this kind of comic book style pattern on the back. Speaking of the back, we have a Thunder Toys logo and the warnings and legal info. Now, the horse itself, the Pegasus, if you will, does not come in an art box. It literally comes in a brown cardboard box with a foam insert. I don't think there's any real need to unbox it on camera. You will see what I mean when you get yours in hand. Now, I don't know about y'all, I personally have waited a really long time for this particular look for Valkyrie. Hot Toys teased us multiple times, in fact. They never delivered. They just straight up nixed this outfit. They're giving us King Valkyrie. I like that look too. This one just happens to be my favorite. As for the figure herself, first in-hand impressions, oh my word, that hairdo needs some work. Popping this head sculpt in just straight up foam, there's a lot of friction and a lot of frizziness going on. What we are going to do now is get all of her accessories laid out in the light box and take a closer look at everything she comes with, minus the horse. Starting off with the display base first. It's round, it's got this grippy texture on the surface. It's kind of tall though, so it will give her a height boost. Then up top, an adjustable crotch grabber. If you don't count Pegasus, which I don't because you only get Pegasus with the deluxe version, the only real accessory she has is her Valkyrie sword. The sword itself, kind of prickly towards the top, be careful. It's painted in silver down the bottom, and the blade itself is done in this metallic turquoise or greenish blue. There isn't any speckling of dirt and grime, there are no washes in the crevices, it kind of looks pretty plain and simple. I like the shine to it, I just would have liked some more detail. Like what they've done for the hands. You've got some skin texture on the exposed fingers, you've got some knuckle definition and the fingernails sculpted in. Then for the fingerless glove/hand wraps, you've got a mesh textured section, then multiple pieces with wrinkles so they look like fabric. Over the top of all of that, some washes in the crevices to bring out all of that sculpted detail. Unfortunately, as good as the hands are, which they are, you only get two sets. You get some gripping hands, some open palm hands, and that's it. No other gestures, for some reason. What we are going to do now, though, is get Valkyrie herself out here. Standing straight up and down in the light box, no crazy poses or accessories or anything like that. When Thunder Toys announced this, I immediately thought to myself, oh no. There is no way they pull this figure off. Hot Toys even struggle with female characters. And when it comes to head sculpts, there is always a drop in quality between prototype and production. Somehow, some way, they have achieved against all odds. This figure is really good. It's not perfect, we still have plenty to discuss, don't worry. The proportions from a distance, she fills out the outfit well, and the outfit is my favourite look for Valkyrie, recreated nicely in 1/6 scale, great material choices. And the head sculpt, surprisingly, is the star of the show. It looks a lot like Tessa Thompson. The hair does require a little bit of effort though. Out of the box, you will have to do some styling. Up close and personal, kicking things off with Valkyrie's head sculpt. Now that I've tamed the hair, which we will discuss, I really like this head sculpt. I think it has a very strong likeness to Tessa Thompson. From certain angles, you do start to lose it a little, but come on, you can tell exactly who this is supposed to be. Then from a technical perspective, it's just well done. There's sculpted and painted skin texture to mimic complexion, with some highlights and blush for the cheeks. The mouth is parted so you can see a row of teeth in there, and the eyes do not look dead. A lot of 1/6 scale female head sculpts, they have that dead-eyed stare. This one, it just doesn't. Now, the skin tone match between the head sculpt and the body is very, very close. In person, it's almost unnoticeably different. On camera, it's been exacerbated and the neck does look a little bit darker than the head sculpt. Trust me, it's a non-issue. Something that is an issue is the hair. There is so much of it. It looks great when you style it, and what I used to style it was a very specific product called Dolphy Water Wax. Go ahead and Google that. It's actually made for rooted doll hair, so it's perfect for this type of application. You rub it on your fingers, it goes on the hair white so you can see where you put it, and it'll eventually dry clear, and fingers crossed, keep everything in position. There is so much hair around the back that I just wasn't able to tame it. There's a curve, there's a wave, there's a flow to it, and you can get this to look good. In the display, yeah, I'd be more than happy to have this as my Valkyrie. That's just me. If you don't like it, totally fine. Now, the hair itself isn't just one color either. There's dark brown as the base, then we've got some lighter brown highlights, and some grey in there for some reason, just to add a little bit of depth, I think. The best way I've found to shape it is to put as much product in there as you're comfortable with, then grab it, hold it, and shape it. And the heat from your fingers coupled with the product should keep it in position after a little while. Her cape is great, it's very lightweight, almost satin feeling, and the blue is beautifully vibrant. You've got wires around the edges and the bottom, and this, not exactly sure what that's supposed to be. If you know what this logo is, please let me know in the comments section. I've done some research. As far as I can tell, that's really not supposed to be there. It's kind of Thunder Toys' own creation. If this is your logo, Thunder Toys, no. Do not do this going forward, because immediately that makes this cape entirely inaccurate to the film. You know us collectors, we're all about accuracy. If it is supposed to be there, then alright, I retract everything. One other very minor complaint I have is her neck looks a little bit short. You can adjust the head sculpt by pulling it up, and that absolutely helps. Because her kind of collar piece and her shoulder pads sit up so high, I think that exacerbates the issue. So when you get her, just pull the head sculpt up a touch and it should solve it for you. The shoulder pads are free floating, fully sculpted, same thing with the chest armor. Then the suit underneath is this rubbery fabric. We've got honeycomb patterns, we've got multiple different layers and panels, and it does feel really durable. There's also some airbrush shading so it doesn't look brand new and pristine. You can tell that this outfit and Valkyrie have clearly kicked some ass. I love pops of color, and this outfit is all about that. We've got some blue around the edges to tie the look together with the cape. Then the gold is muted. It's nothing crazy and it's not over the top. It just adds a touch of contrast to an otherwise very grey outfit. We've got this speckling on the surface, scratches and wear and tear, that mottled metal-like texture. That goes for all of the sculpted plastic pieces. Her double knee pads, not sure why there's two, but they're fused to the suit. Then we have more of that rubbery textured material with some squiggly lines, honeycomb patterns, and more panels. Then down here for the boots, thank goodness, a split cut boot design. Although, weirdly enough, they've done it in the opposite way to how it's normally done. Usually this piece sits over the top of the under part of the boot. This time, the actual shoe goes over the top of this kind of guard piece. Not sure that that works as well as doing it the other way, however, from the front, it looks nice and seamless. You can still see it, it looks as seamless as a split cut boot design can, is what I meant to say. We've got dirt and grime in the crevices and the wrinkles, then on the underside, oh yes, some fully sculpted tread. Seeing as though I'm not a huge 1/6 scale horse collector, funnily enough, I didn't know what to expect from Pegasus. I certainly wasn't expecting a beast as majestic as this one is. Not just the size of the horse itself, but the wings. The wingspan here is crazy. The wings do attach with magnets. They are pinned into these connectors so you can rotate them up and down. Get a little bit of posability out of them. Then the main body of the wings, they are made up of synthetic feathers. At least I hope they're synthetic. There is this wash on the surface, there's a little bit of shading, just to add some more depth there. Now we may as well leave that wing off so we can look at the body of the horse itself. The head, Yep, looks like a horse. The mane is real fur and there's shading in it, once again adding depth. You can kind of futz with this if you so choose. The body has a lot of texture and the musculature, oh, it's sensational. Around the back, horse does have a tail and it's wired. Underneath the fur, you can pose the tail. You would think because of the size, the chunk of the body and the spindliness of the legs that Pegasus might be a challenge to stand. Pegasus is really heavy, so she will be nice and planted in the display. I have had no problems whatsoever getting her to balance. Fitting Valkyrie on Pegasus, on the other hand, not so easy. Because the body is fully sculpted, there is no give. So you have to do a lot of work with Valkyrie to actually get her to straddle the horse properly. Then the wings are an issue, they do collide with where her legs want to be, so that's something you will have to overcome. Just sit down, take your time, and it can be done. The articulation for Valkyrie is good enough, and the suit is forgiving enough, that she can actually get into a convincing horse riding pose. For a quick side-by-side comparison, on the left we have Thunder Toys Valkyrie, and on the right, Hot Toys Gladiator Thor. Thor is the taller of the two figures, exactly as he should be. Chris Hemsworth, he is 6'3", whereas Tessa Thompson, she's 5'4". So I reckon this height difference in 1/6 scale is pretty spot on. The same thing goes for Thor Ragnarok Loki by Hot Toys. Not counting the horns, of course, which are literally scraping the top of the frame. In real life, Tom Hiddleston is 6'2", ever so slightly shorter than Chris, but still taller than Tessa Thompson. Say you're thinking about putting together an A-Force display from Avengers Endgame, and you're wondering, ooh, how does this Valkyrie scale next to a female Hot Toys character? Unfortunately, not well. Hot Toys, their female figures, they just run way too small. So alongside Valkyrie, I just think Black Widow's nowhere near tall enough. Going over articulation, I really hope I don't mess up the hair again, but we've got to do what we've got to do. Starting off with the head sculpt, it's on a rubbery neck with a double ball peg. Looking forward to there, looking up to there, swivel and pivot side to side. So far so good with the hair. The arms will go up to there, the shoulder pads are nice and flexible, going forward and back. Butterfly joint at the shoulder that hinges up and down. Swivel at the bicep, double bend at the elbow going past 90. Then for the wrist peg, a hinge and swivel. The torso crunches forward and back, swivels and pivots. The legs will go forward to there, limited slightly by the skirt. Going out to there, this hip armor is nice and flexible. Swivel at the upper thigh, double bend at the knee going past 90. Then for the ankle, a split cut boot design with a double ball peg. Good for forward and back, swivel and pivot. Wrapping up on Thunder Toys Valkyrie. And Pegasus, I guess. We may as well start off with the horse first. If you have room for it and you want it, just get it. It's a big 1/6 scale non-articulated horse. The detail is good, it looks like a horse, the wings are awesome, and the tail is wired if that floats your boat. If you don't have room for it, don't get it. Just get Valkyrie. Seriously though, get Valkyrie. She is way better than I was expecting. I told you earlier that I thought this figure was going to be a total disaster, just a write-off immediately. She's not. The head sculpt is actually very, very strong. I think it looks just like Tessa Thompson. It's not as good as the Hot Toys Valkyrie head sculpt, comes in a very close second. By default, almost, because it's the only other 1/6 scale Valkyrie. The hair requires a bit of work. Total non-issue for me. I'm willing to put in the work if the sculpt is good, which it is. The proportions are on point, articulation is more than serviceable, and the outfit is really accurate to the film. The only thing that is inaccurate, as far as I'm aware, is the logo on the cape, and it's around the back, so it is not a deal breaker for me personally. Thunder Toys, you have impressed me, and they do not have the best track record when it comes to third-party companies. I'm hoping that their future releases will be as good, if not even better, than this one. So far, this is the only 1/6 scale Valkyrie currently available, and it just happens to be my favorite outfit for her. So I'm glad this turned out as well as it did. I got mine from toyswonderland.com. Don't forget, it's a third-party, unlicensed, unofficial figure. I have popped the link to their site in the description below for your reference purposes only. This is by no means a promotional video, this is a review on a figure that's going in my collection after this video is done. While you're down in the description, why not hit that subscribe, bell notification icon, and join button, if you like the sound of seeing your name in the end credits of my reviews. Like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next video.